Okay. Hi guys.
Hello. Good afternoon.
This is Brno Expat Centre speaking, 16th webinar. Today we will talk about how to use one of the special city tools, interfaces to the greatest advantage. My name's Lucy. I'm officially or in general in charge of client services. I've been with the Brno Expat Centre for the past 9 years. And I'm Slovak, not Czech.
And I'm Katka. I'm from Brno, very much a Brno citizen from birth. And I've been working in the Expat Centre for several years as well. I mainly work as the event manager, but I also focus on consulting in the areas of family and leisure and schools.
And today we will talk about the mystery which starts when...
Yes, the catchy question. What do you get when you put a rubbish bin, a tram and Villa Tugendhat together? Ha!
Sounds tricky, but actually it's BrnoID. BrnoID, as I already said, is an interface. It's a project of the city of Brno, and the best description would be a one-stop shop for as many useful things as we can imagine at the time being. Of course, the city is trying to enlarge the list as it goes.
For me, who's been living in Brno for ages, this is an absolutely amazing, genius thing because it saves me so much time. And if I remember how much time it cost me to go to this office and that office and that office and deal with this grumpy lady, that grumpy lady, and so on, to take care of the things that I had to, well, now I'm comfortably sitting at my computer, clicking away, paying this, paying that, and having a clear head for the rest of the year. That's just marvelous, and that's why we thought you should know about BrnoID as well and make full use of it to make your life in Brno as much comfortable as possible.
Today we will try to be brief, within half an hour roughly, and we will not go through every single point or part of the BrnoID, but we will focus on things that we think are the most useful for you, whether you are newcomers and arrived just a few weeks ago, or you've been living here for a while. There are several things that we believe will be a great deal for you.
Just a technical remark, if you have any specific questions, feel free to write them in the comments and we'll get to them at the end. Mari, our marvelous technical assistant and PR and tech guru all in one, will give them to us at the end. And last but not least, as Lucy mentioned, this is our 16th webinar, and although we're live now, all of our previous webinars are recorded and saved, so you can actually go back and check out the other important topics that we've covered in this past year when most of our special seminars had to flip online. So you can go back and find out more about other areas and check out our calendar for the upcoming ones.
Okay, and what's the outline for today? So we will start with the waste tax, then we will move forward towards
Šalinkarta.
Yes, you'll find out what that is. Then we will talk very briefly about parking system and why BrnoID is useful in this area. Then there are possibilities to get involved as citizens
and influence what the city puts money from the budget into.
And last but not least, we will mention a few perks which we think are really useful to know about. So without any more waiting, let's move forward towards the first part, which is the waste tax, waste collection fee. That's also a name that we know it under.
Actually, not quite. Because before you can deal with your waste tax, you have to get registered on the BrnoID website. So let's have a look how this goes. Okay. All right. We have the BrnoID website, where in the right-hand corner, once you've switched to English, which is one of the biggest perks of this wonderful interface, you can sign in, you write your email, you create a password, you know the procedure. And once you're in, you actually see many more options than before you've signed in. Now, there are actually two levels of your existence on BrnoID, the basic one and then the full one. The full one used to be required by confirming your existence or identity by showing your ID at one of the offices. Due to COVID, this has been scrapped too. So you can pass to the full level by scanning an appropriate ID and sending it to an email address, and thus you will be confirmed and you'll get all of the access to the different things that BrnoID actually allows.
So there are positive sides to the quarantine, and
ironically.
Yeah, ironically.
Yeah.
And if we are to have a look at this, so I'm switching into, I switched into English, and now if you wanted to register, the interface would look really simple, as Katka described. I'm actually already registered, so I will just sign in. So you can see the interface from the full kind of point of view. So let's hope everything works as it should, and wait for it. I'm in, super. So I'm inside my interface. This little thing knows a lot about me already. And now we will move to waste collection fee, right?
Yes, indeed. You can see BrnoID has got a huge menu on the left, and that's your main pointer of all the services that are available. So let's speak about waste tax first.
Okay, so waste tax, I click on it, and before we move forward, I just wanted to say that to understand what the waste tax is to imagine that it has nothing to do with the waste collection of bins from outside of your household, outside of your flat or house. This is something that's dealt with on a regular basis. It's usually part of utilities or the building where your flat is taking care of this regularly. But waste tax is something else. Waste tax is tax that we pay as residents. So it's paid per head. There are exceptions for young children and elderly, but in general, everybody who lives in Brno is obliged to register and start paying. And the deadline for this is quite short. It's only 15 days after your arrival. So you have 15 days once you arrive to register and start paying. And you pay for whatever time remains in that particular year, and then you prepay always the whole year. So the difference should be clear, and this obligation is applicable on both EU and non-EU foreigners. So it's Czech citizens, just like any foreigner who comes and lives here and has a fixed address in the city center, or not city center, but city
boundaries.
City boundaries, Brno Město. So if we look at pay for waste, this is actually on a section on the website where you learn much more about the actual fee and about how to do it in the best way. The instructions are quite detailed, and if we move down, you can already see that the system remembers me, so it knows my name, and this is a tricky part, personal identification number, where many people get a bit confused and we get a lot of questions about this point. So I will stop here. Personal identification number, actually, do you know what it is?
Well, I would imagine it's rodné číslo, but do expats have it too?
Well, yeah, expats have it if they ever apply for any type of residency in the Czech Republic. So some expats have it, but for example, many EU citizens don't, because EU citizens don't have an obligation to apply for any type of residency in an EU country where they live. and therefore they don't have this rodné číslo or identification number. If they don't, this form is really clever. So all you have to do is click or tick that taxpayer doesn't have a signed identification number, and you use your date of birth instead. So far, so good. It's really easy. You fill in the rest of the information, you pay the fee, perfect. But what happens, and I had a few questions about this before, is that the system allows you to register through your date of birth, allows you to pay the fee through your date of birth, but then you get an automatic response in Czech from the municipal office, the Department of Waste Tax, and it says that they still cannot quite connect your name and your identification details with the payment. Don't be afraid, it's a long email. The most important bit is that on the bottom you will see phone numbers, address, and an email address. To that email address you just write in English a short email saying, yes, this is me, my full name, my date of birth, I paid this much money from this account on this date. And you send it. They speak English, and this is enough for them to get like a real response from a real person to match your account with your date of birth, and everything is processed as if you had the identification number. So there should be no problems after that. So I'm just pointing this out because this is quite often an issue. And if we move further down, there's one more interesting section here about adding a taxpayer. This is actually quite useful because you can have one account per family, and me, if I had kids, or Katka has kids, she can actually pay the fee for her kids
for
once they're old enough,
for
her household, for her husband, and so on. So one person can deal with the family issue, family payments, and they don't need to worry about that anymore.
By the way, what if I leave Brno? Do I have to keep paying, or what do I do?
Well, if you leave Brno, then you should most definitely let the office know that you are leaving. It's quite easy. Again, you will have, you just need to have a look at the reporting forms, and one of them says form to report that you are ending your stay. You fill in this form and follow the instructions, and you announce, I'm leaving on this date, and they will stop requiring money from you. Actually, if you prepaid the whole year, you can even apply for reimbursement of the remaining months. So let's say you're leaving in July, they will pay you for August until December back. Please think about this. I've dealt with a case not so long time ago of our former client, and he moved out, forgot about this, and received a few weeks ago a bill for almost 6,000 crowns because the office didn't know, and he was not paying towards the waste collection fee, and there were some fines. So now he has to go through quite a lot of admin work in order to set the things right. And maybe one more mention here. If we go back, if you pay the waste tax on a regular basis, you can actually see the waste tax history and make sure that you've paid your dues in time for you or your family. And the most important bit here is that this is also a very practical proof of your active residency in the Czech Republic, which is quite often required by offices such as health insurance office, for example. So you know that if you pay your waste collection fee, you also have a proof of your active residency in the country and in the city. Okay, so this is all for waste collection fee. And now we will move forward to the next big issue, and I will pass words to Katka.
If you've been in Brno long enough, I'm sure you've heard the word šalinkarta. Sounds funny, doesn't it? It's actually an amalgamation of two German words for tram, elektrische Linie, and that's how Brno people have been calling their public transportation pass ever since. So it's useful if you learn this word, because now it's used as like the official name for Brno public transportation.
Cool. You look like the local.
Yes,
if you use
I
it.
have my Šalinkarta.
Don't use it in Prague though.
Anyway, well, they have their own, and Ostrava has got their own perky name and so on. So in any case, Brno has a wonderful public transport network, and if you're using it regularly, it definitely pays off to have your public transportation pass, Šalinkarta. Once you stop sitting at home, working from home, and you return to working at the office and going there every day, hopefully, then you'll be needing it again, and you'll be perhaps wanting to get about town and make use of the natural surroundings of Brno. In all of these cases, Šalinkarta is very useful. Now, clearly and very simply, I click on the public transport offer, and it gives me all sorts of possibilities. The easiest thing to look for first is how to, because the Brno Public Transport Company have made this clever video which very easily shows you how to fill in all the forms, all the information that you have to put in. Well, there are English subtitles, so that's the clever thing. So very easily you can get yourself your own Šalinkarta. It's up to you to decide whether you want to pay monthly, quarterly or annually. The last is the best, and we'll show you and tell you why in a moment.
Okay, but what if I am you? I'm a mother of several kids and I want to do this thing for the whole family.
Well, that's great too, of course, because when you click on to buy a ticket, it gives you a choice. Am I signed in or am I signed out? Interesting. So it gives you a choice of buying various things. I've signed out. Stupid computer, excuse me. Okay, I'll show it in a second. Yes, okay.
Brno is great. Don't leave. Don't let COVID scare you off.
Okay.
Brno will be great again. Just give us a few more months.
Yeah, okay, so here we are. So when you click onto the website and you're already signed in, you see that there are different things. There are shared accounts, dependent accounts, and other things. We won't go into the carriers area because it's a bit too complicated, but that's what the video is for. You can share your account, which means that if you buy a ticket, a public transportation pass, you can share it with other people, even on a daily basis. One day you use it, on the other day someone else uses it. So that's one type. You can also have the dependent accounts, which is similar to the waste collection fee, where you are the holder of an account, and then you join it with others, and you can keep paying the Šalinkarta for your kids once they're big enough, which is starting at the age of 6. They will start paying for their Šalinkarta with a discount, of course, same as students, same as pensioners. They're all eligible to a discount. So that's what you can do through here. In another way, you can buy it through here, where the icons show you quite simply. You can have a non-transferable ticket, which means your very own Šalinkarta only for you. You can have a transferable one, which is the one I mentioned. You can share it with other people. And there are other options, such as follow-up tickets, which means when you're traveling regularly or outside the zones 100 and 101, which means beyond Brno boundaries, you can buy extra tickets that cover this area. And you can even buy boat tickets for the Brno Dam. So before you set on and you don't want to stand in line of other 50 people in the scorching sun, this is where you can get your ticket in advance.
With a discount, if you already have a public transport pass.
And you can even give someone Šalinkarta for Christmas. Yay.
How original, right? Especially if they are from Prague. Anyway, I have a question. Yes. I heard that this annual ticket or pass for even just a single one person is a great deal.
Yes.
And that there are some perks.
I was just going to get to this.
that go
So,
with it. Okay.
if you buy the annual pass, which might seem a large amount of 4,750 crowns, it covers you for the whole year. So you pay it and you can ride all the trams and buses and trolley buses all year long. But not only that, at weekends and holidays, it covers another adult and up to 6 children who can travel with you. It covers huge luggage that you might want to transport in a tram, and other
small
things.
Or huge
yeah,
dog.
Small, yeah, well, or it covers your dog for free as well, because normally dogs need a separate doggy ticket. But the best perk is the discount, the grant scheme, as the city calls it, because the city of Brno decided, again, to support responsible citizens who pay their city taxes, and
such as waste tax.
Yes, and who are environmentally aware, and they use public transport as well. So when you get your annual pass and you pay your waste collection tax, you can get a discount. The order is as follows. You pay your waste collection fee, you buy your annual pass, and then you click on the green button in the list of your tickets, which shines there brightly, telling you you can ask for your discount. So Lucy will now show you how, because she hasn't done that yet. So now you click the button, and the system basically verifies whether you've really done what you're saying you've done. You've paid your waste collection fee, and then you bought your annual pass. And in a week or two, this discount of 1,425 crowns, which is a nice amount, all right, will land back on your account. So that way, your Shalinkarta will cost you 1,425 crowns less, which...
Yeah,
I suppose.
It's about 10 crowns per day, which is a really good deal.
Wonderful deal.
So I'm just showing you what it looks like. I've clicked on, or I'm trying to click on my tickets. I don't know if it's happening. Yes, something happened. Yes. And here you can see that on the 17th of February, I bought a yearly pass, non-transferable just for me, for the city of Brno, 100 and 101 zones, and it cost me, and I paid 4,750 crowns, and now I have 60 days, so until mid-April roughly, to submit the application for the discount.
Do it now, do it now.
No, because I haven't paid my waste tax yet.
Because that's why you would stop being eligible.
Yeah.
So you really have to pay
You really
for the
have
waste
to make
tax
sure
first.
that your waste is paid first. It's a new perk this year. They want you to first pay the tax, and then you can get something back. So it's here blinking at me. I have to pay my taxes, and then I can submit for the grant, and I need to manage by mid-April. Yeah. So now you know what it looks like, and you can see the history of my public passes. You can even change carriers. Normally you can transfer it to your credit card, for example. Currently I have it on my credit card because I carry it with me, so you can pick a carrier.
You have some fines there. How is that possible? Naughty Lucy, did you travel without your tram pass?
No, I'm not naughty. I'm too big a coward for that. I wouldn't
Or
dare.
do you have too many handbags?
Yeah, I have too many handbags. And actually, what actually happened with my fines is that I had a credit card which expired, and I didn't realize that. And it wasn't a carrier anymore. My bank disconnected the card, and it stopped being electronic.
You can link your Shalinkarta to your bank card. That's one of the details. You can choose, you don't have to. You can get a different plastic card for your Shalinkarta, or you can link it with your bank card.
Yeah.
But in any case,
you need to make sure that it is valid and active. And if it is, super. If you for example, leave your credit card in a different purse, you go to a theater, for example, in old days when we used to go to theaters, and you were just a little purse, what you do if you're checked, you will tell them, sorry, I don't have it here, and then you go to your ID, Brno ID, and you pay your fine online.
Which, of course, if you have your Schelling-Karta already, all you pay is 50 crowns. So it's not the 900 or whatever that you would have to pay if you didn't have any ticket whatsoever. But if you have a Schelling-Karta, all you pay is 50 crowns. So that's clever, and you don't even have to go to Dopravní podnik města Brna at Novobranská Street. You just click away at home.
If you have a look on the website now, you can see the fine I paid in 2018 at some point, and my payment was accepted, and it really only was 50 crowns because my credit card expired. It wasn't that my ticket wasn't valid.
Yeah.
So that's about.
That's pretty
this.
much it.
Yeah.
The last thing that I would like to show you is the FAQ. The section is really big, so you can clarify all sorts of things if you're not sure how to get this or the other discount, how to fill in this or that. It's all in English, so if you're lost, check out the FAQs because they've really done a huge job to explain things as best as possible.
And now we will move to the third area. We will cover it very quickly. It's actually just one important thing that you need to remember, which is residential parking. So for those who are not familiar with this at all, Brno has been, it's been a few years now, I think, has been divided into, you can now see on the screen, into zones. And if you happen to live within these color zones, the rules of the new residential parking apply to you. And it applies, you know, to everybody. The point is to create more parking spaces for residents and give it some order. There are people who are against, there are people who are for it, but simply it's been put into action and now we have to deal with it. So quite often people ask that, what if I live here, but I don't have a car, for example, right? And if that's the case, it still actually concerns you, because you might have visitors coming over. And
does it concern you even if you're not a Czech resident?
Yeah, it does concern you. Officially, you have right for this if you have permanent residence in the Czech Republic as a non-EU citizen or temporary residency as an EU citizen. But from practice, we know that even non-EU citizens with long-term residencies or temporary residency permits, if they have EU family members, were able to apply. So it's something you can work with if you have a fixed address within these color boundaries. And why we mention it here is because if you look at the Brno ID interface, you are able to actually, once registered, once you have this simply created account that you use for waste collection fee and Schelling-Karta and so on, you can very easily create a parking account as well. And I haven't done it before, so I will do it now with you because I already have my account, I am signed in. And all you have to do is that you click on this button, and if all goes well, it should turn green and tell me, yes, that I have now successfully created a Brno parking account, and it sort of automatically connects my Brno ID account with a new account on Parkování v Brně, which is the official information website of Brno about this residential parking. It can be switched into 5 different languages, including English, and you will find really all the minute details about how to apply, how much it costs, and so on. And suddenly, by just one click on my BrnoID account. These two accounts were joined. I don't have to go to Zvonashka, somewhere near a bus train station in person. I don't need to queue. I've just created my account by one click. And that's actually the whole point of this. If you have business in the city center, you think you might have visitors, or you simply live there and have a car.
And if you live in the blue or green zone where it concerns you, you can take care of your parking duties.
And it's this easy. So that's actually it for the parking. And we will now talk a bit about how to become an active citizen, right?
Okay, this section, the project, is called the Participatory City Budget. They've also given it the name Dáme na vás, which means something like we're listening to you. And it's actually a very nice way where the city wants to give room to people who live there to actually submit various improvement projects for the public benefit. And they will be, if they're approved, they will be paid from the public budget. The nice, interesting thing is that anyone who lives or works in Brno from the age of 15 can actually submit and design a project.
A question, really anyone? Because we're dealing here with foreigners.
Exactly, but even if you work and live in Brno as a foreigner, you can submit a project.
So I don't have to have any kind of residency, or like there are no conditions?
Technically, your address doesn't even have to be in Brno, but if you work in Brno, for example, and your project is based in Brno, you can submit a project.
Super.
There are, of course, various phases of this process, and we're currently in the project submission phase with the deadline on the 15th of May. So if there is something you've been carrying in your head and wondering, like, I wonder if this park behind my house could be a bit nicer, or I wonder if they could create a better playground over here, or I don't know, like this guy 2 years ago thought, why is it so mad that one has to run up the steps at the railway station, up from the subway, to find out when my tram arrives? Why don't they put a sign right down there in the subway to tell you when the trams are leaving? And he proposed this, his project and his idea was approved. Lo and behold,
and I am very happy about it every time I travel back
no
home.
more crazy running up the steps unnecessarily if I know that it's raining, but my tram only arrives in 6 minutes. So thank you, whoever this was. And every year there are people submitting these interesting projects, like the Holedna lookout tower in the forest. That's also a result of this project. Now, you can propose a project in the way that I mentioned. Anyone who actually looks at the website with your BrnoID account can like a project. Now, the first phase of the project selection is that it has to receive a certain number of likes. And after that, the projects are being submitted.
Can I just have a question? This is only in Czech. They don't have a translation?
Yes, unfortunately, this part does not exist in Czech. But in English, sorry.
Yet, we hope.
But hopefully they'll do something eventually. So, but if we go to the gallery, we just want to show you one project because we think this would definitely would definitely be very useful and nice for expats especially, and that's this one here, Street Food Market under Spielberg. So if we look at the project details, and you can look at the project details of any project, like if you discover, oh, there is one in my district where I live, let's look at it, let's support it. So, but this one suggests that a small area at Spielberg would have various stands with food from all over the world, and you would be able to go there and basically taste the world all in one place. Now we can see that usually a certain number of likes is required. 242 have already done that, and only 58 are missing. So if you can like this project, and you'll have a street food market all over the world.
Yeah, we're not going to lie to you. The only reason why we decided for this topic is because we want this
who
this
doesn't love
suggestion to pass
international food? Who
into
doesn't
the
love
official
international
voting,
food?
and we want you to register and know how, and then like this project. No, we're
So,
joking, but this is one option. But then, if I actually want to, so by my likes, the project is chosen, I can suggest a project even without any residency.
You go, I'm not a robot, oh no, blah, 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 okay, we're not going to click on bikes, etc., but you know what to do in any case. So that's how it's done.
But if I wanted to actually, let's say that this project is chosen to be considered in the next round, can I vote for it?
Okay, the final phase, the voting, is open only to people who are actual residents of Brno, because obviously it goes from the Brno budget. So only people who have, in the case of foreigners, permanent residency in the Czech Republic and their permanent address in Brno, which means they're paying their taxes in Brno, they are eligible to vote. For Czechs, this is checked through BrnoID and, I don't know, my citizen's ID number or whatever. For expats, you have to actually go and show your permanent residency card to the project coordinator in person. Yeah, but still, if you're active a citizen and you still want to vote, you can do that. They're happy to see you and check your residency, and then you can go. But if you're something else, or you don't have your permanent residency yet, but you still want to support nice things happening in Brno, you can at least help by liking the various projects in the various districts. Okay. And they've promised me that they will be translating the projects into English eventually.
I think after this webinar, they won't dare not to. Okay, and the last very quick section is about perks, about things that we think might be useful for you, and they're a bit more fun. So
they will mostly, again, save you time from queuing to get tickets to various places. So to speed it up, I can mention gift vouchers, I can mention entry passes to various sports facilities managed by the city, like Lužanky swimming pool and ice skating rinks and all these marvelous things that will hopefully be open one day again. You can also get your tickets to the zoo, which is great because, again, you don't have to stand in line when you get there. And yes, the cherry on top at the very end, it's no coincidence that we mentioned Villa Tugendhat in the tagline of this webinar, because there is this thing called Brno Pass. It's managed by the Tourist Information Centre. It was originally created for tourists who come to Brno and buy this tourist card that many other cities also have, you know, London, Prague and everywhere, because then it gives you a discount to all sorts of touristy places where tourists would normally go, you know, Spielberg and the galleries and da-da-da-da-da. But also, it gives you discounts to the various places, again, run by the city, like the swimming pools and so on. And not only, it doesn't really give you a discount for Villa Tugendhat, but you can skip the 3 months of waiting.
Because Villa Tugendhat is really liked by tourists a lot. And sometimes, even if you're local, you need to wait.
Yeah,
months.
you have to basically book a ticket, and normally you have to wait for like 3 months before you can actually go on tour. And if you're, for example, expecting visitors and they've just arrived and they realize, oh, that, like there's Villa Tugendhat,
buy them a Brno Pass.
Yeah, because then Brno Pass holders have preference in joining tours at Villa Tugendhat. So it means you buy a Brno Pass and you can go basically immediately.
We call it the Great Tugendhat hack.
Yes.
And
let us hope that in due course, even our beautiful and beloved Villa Tugendhat will be open to the public, just like all the swimming pools and the zoo and the theatres and the museums and everything. And then you will be able to use all the perks of BrnoID.
Everything that Katka was talking about, you can see in the section services. So you see the Brno Pass, the zoo, the gift vouchers, and there's one particularly special perk. We sometimes joke that you must love Brno until you die. So you should stay here forever. And if you do, there are perks for you. because if you have your BrnoID account, you can then deal with the city cemetery administration online again, which is a great help.
You can reserve a grave, so you can live in Brno happily ever after.
Ever after. So a bit of a morbid joke, we apologize, but we think it's a great slogan, like live here until you die. And
beyond.
And beyond, because Brno is so great. And that's where we will end it today. We hope that the many perks and interesting places that you could sort of see thanks to the perks that you can get through BrnoID will be actually accessible soon.
Or they will save you a lot of worries or unnecessary bills, or even worse, some debts that you might fall into if you forget to pay what you're supposed to pay.
And Maruška is already coming closer. There are some questions. Okay, so I'll have a look. These are all there are, right? On the print screen. Okay, so Leon is asking, if we pay transport card on this, are we gonna receive transport ID card?
Well, that's the thing that they've newly created, where it's all electronic. They use the abbreviation EOC, and you can have a look here.
On the
and
website
it will show you again like what the EOC concept is and how it's used. It's like right here about EOC. I mentioned it briefly during the webinar, and that means that you link your bank card with the Šalinkarta, and that means from that moment your Šalinkarta lives on your banking card. If you don't want to use your own personal banking card, you can pick up a random plastic card from the public transport company. I have one like that, for example, and it's just some old, disused, expired banking card from, I don't know, it's nameless or something.
Or it can be an actual banking card that you're using. Like in my case, I'm using my credit card because that's the card I use for paying in shops, and I carry with me at all times. Wherever I go, I have my credit card with me, so it makes sense to me to have my public transport pass on that card. But you can really choose.
And last year they actually introduced this clever system of paying for single tickets with your card. So those are the big yellow beeping machines now placed near the door. So if you have your banking card with you, or it's even linked to your smartwatch or your phone, and you want to buy a single ticket, or anyone who visits you wants to buy just a single ticket or a day ticket or whatever, they can just easily do it by beeping the yellow machine when they enter the tram and then beeping it again when they exit, or
it's
whatever.
Beep and go.
It's called Beep and Go, and there are various details, and again, like, you can check it out on the website.
Maruška will share the link into the comment.
Yeah, window. There's like a whole website called Beep and Go, which
we will
obviously
share
I can't find
okay.
it, but you'll see.
Then there was another question from George. So with BrnoID, you do not have to visit office to validate the car registration and residency. No, this it should be enough. You have to actually, when you register on BrnoID, one validation is required. Before, it used to be validation in person, which means you would take your passport or ID and visit the headquarters of, I think it was the headquarters of Brno.
It can actually be any branch of the Brno Public Transportation Company, because I did it in Královo Pole.
Yeah, so you were supposed to go there in person, but now, due to COVID precautions, even this can be done online. You scan your passport or your ID and you send it as an attachment to an email, and this should be enough to validate your BrnoID account. And once your BrnoID account is validated, they've seen your passport, they've seen your ID card, then the validation for the
parking,
it's not car registration though, it's car
parking.
So these are two different things.
Car registration is a completely different thing, which is done completely somewhere else.
And this is not something that you can do through BrnoID. You can do parking system, but not registering your car.
Yeah, that's actually dealt with by a national institution because it's surveyed by the Ministry of the Interior. So although it's done in Brno and in the building of the municipality, officially it doesn't have anything to do with the city. So BrnoID doesn't concern this, and unfortunately.
We have a really well-written info guide on our website about this, about registering a car. So you can read that if you want, or you can contact us and we will give you further details. As for Milan, Milan von Brun says, love the trash talk. So I really hope our talk wasn't that trash.
Goodness
more
me.
a compliment towards our description of the waste tax. Thank you. And last thing from Yoon, what is the specific timing as around the clock on business days? I'm not sure I understand this question, Yoon. I don't know if you are still with us, if you can rephrase that, because I can't imagine what this would be connected
Well,
to.
I mean, whatever you're dealing with online happens round the clock.
So there's no, like, this application or interface is not open from 9 to 5. You can register at midnight and it's done at midnight. I remember I was buying my public transport ticket 5 minutes before I left home, and I was hoping that they say it will be activated within an hour. I was hoping that the system will work quicker, and it did, so it was activated within 20 minutes by the time I got to the tram stop, and I could get on a tram without buying a ticket because my public transport pass was validated. So you can do it any time. There's no time limit on when this app works. Website. So I hope this answers your question, Yoon. And I don't know if there are any other. Marushi? No? Okay. So I think
That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Oh,
question.
maybe someone else?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Well, in any case, if you have any further questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and we'll of course look at the comments later on and write an answer below. So don't worry if you missed your chance now.
Yeah.
Or you can always drop us an email through our contact form on our website.
Yes.
Thanks
That's
for
it.
watching. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Marie. And
Thank you, Katia.
let's hope we'll be able to welcome you to a live seminar at some point.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.